chapter 21. The word which came unto Jeremiah from the Lord, when King Zedekiah sent unto him Pashur the son of Malchiah, and Zephaniah the son of Maaseiah, the priest, saying, Inquire, I pray you, of the Lord for us, for Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon maketh war against us. Suppose the Lord will deal with us according to all his wondrous works, that he may go up from us. Then said Jeremiah unto them, Thus shall you say unto Zedekiah, Thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, Behold, I will turn back the weapons of war that are in your hands, wherewith you fight against the king of Babylon, and against the Chaldeans, that besiege you without the walls, and I will gather them into the midst of this city. And I myself will fight against you with an outstretched arm, and with a strong arm, even in anger, and in fury, and in great wrath. And I will smite the inhabitants of this city, both man and beast, and they shall die of a great pestilence. And afterward, saith the Lord, I will deliver Zedekiah king of Judah, and his servants, and the people, and such as are left in the city, from the pestilence, from the sword, and from the famine, into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon, and into the hand of their enemies, and into the hand of those that seek their life. And he shall smite them with the edge of the sword. He shall not spare them, neither have pity, nor have compassion. And unto this people you shall say, Thus saith the Lord, Behold, I set before you the way of life and the way of death. He that abideth in this city shall die by the sword, and by the famine, and by the pestilence. But he that goeth out, and falleth away to the Chaldeans that besiege you, he shall live, and his life shall be unto him for a prey. For I have set my face against this city for evil, and not for good, saith the Lord. And it shall be given into the hand of the king of Babylon, and he shall burn it with fire. And unto the house of the king of Judah, Hear you the word of the Lord. O house of David, thus saith the Lord, Execute justice in the morning, and deliver the spoiled out of the hand of the oppressor, lest my fury go forth like fire, and burn that none can quench it, because of the evil of your doings. Behold, I am against you, O inhabitant of the valley, and rock of the plain, saith the Lord, you that say, Who shall come down against us, or who shall enter into our habitations? And I will punish you according to the fruit of your doings, saith the Lord. And I will kindle a fire in her forest, and it shall devour all that is round about her. All right, let's go up to verse 1. And we remember yesterday I said that we should take the last chapter, chapter 20, and put it after this chapter, and we would see why. Because Pashur had been sent there by Zedekiah, and it was after Jeremiah got through saying these words, and probably a few more that we will find scattered in the book, that Pashur beat him and throwed him into the prison house. But we'll pick it up here in verse 1. The word which came unto Jeremiah from the Lord, when King Zedekiah sent unto him Pashur the son of Malchiah, and Zephaniah the son of Maaseiah, the priest, saying, So Zedekiah has sent now Pashur, and Pashur is this one who's been torn away or pulled away. He's come away from the truth of God anyway. He's one of the main priests that's in the house of God. And Zedekiah is the justice of God. He's the justice of God, or some people like to say the righteousness of God, but it sends the wrong intent. He's the justice of God, or that which comes from judgment. And we see here in this verse that Pashur is the son of Malchiah, but in yesterday, or the last chapter in verse, we find that Pashur was the son of Immer. Well, see, Immer is an older relationship, and Pashur would be like the great-great-great-grandson of Immer, whereas he is the direct son now of Malchiah, because, see, to your grandson is just like your son in according to the traditions, these customs even of the time, and this the way it really is. But Malchiah is, my God is king. My king is God. See, God, it truly is the only king. But Zephaniah means my hidden treasure. My hidden treasure is God, or God is my hidden treasure. The son of Masiah, the priest, saying, and Masiah is the work of God, and we'll find out because God is doing a great work. Verse 2, inquire, I pray you, of the Lord for us, for Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, makes war against us. Suppose the Lord will deal with us according to all his wondrous works, that he may go up from us. So Zedekiah sent Pashur down to question Jeremiah and ask him, hey, look, king of Babylon's got come, and he's come against us, and we want to see if you'll help us. And we're going to find out. See, these prophecies should be moved way on down in the book, and there's a whole lot of chapters we could put between the beginning and here, because we'll find out this is pretty well documented in the 24th chapter of 2 Kings, what's going on. See, the king of Babylon has done come down. He's done carried off his Jehoiachin, which will be referred to as Coniah in the book of Jeremiah. He's done carried them off captivity. See, they fell away unto when the king of Babylon come in. Jehoiachin and his family went out and fell away to Babylon, fell away to the king of Babylon. He carried them off to Babylon. There will be more about this later on. And this is what's already happened. And the king of Babylon made Mattaniah king instead of Jehoiachin, and he changed his name to Zedekiah. Mattaniah would be the gifts or offerings of God, is what it would have meant. But he changed his name to Zedekiah, which is the justice of God, or that which comes from judgment. Verse 3, then said Jeremiah unto them, thus shalt you say to Zedekiah. Now, so Jeremiah, the one whom God's appointed, speaks back to Pashur, and he tells him, or not just Pashur, but as well as to Zephaniah, who there was with him. He says back, he says, thus saith the Lord, verse 4, God of Israel, behold, I will turn back the weapons of war that are in your hands, wherewith you fight against the king of Babylon, and against the Chaldeans that besiege you without the walls, and I will gather them into the midst of the city. So God's saying, I ain't going to help you. I'm going to help the king of Babylon, and we're going to find out God was using Babylon. King of Babylon was God's servant at that time, Nebuchadnezzar, and Nebuchadnezzar is Nebo protects the crown. Nebo means the prophet, and we're talking about the prophet that protects the crown. He's the king of Babylon, or the king of confusion, and he has come down and he has besieged the city. 5, and I myself will fight against you with an outstretched hand and with a strong arm, even in anger and fury and in great wrath. See, and it's God who's doing these things. He's been saying from the beginning, I am going to do this. They turned from the law of God, and they have never returned to the law of God. We're going to find that out. It's documented. And God has brought the king of Babylon and to take the city and to take charge of everything, because he is the servant even of God. Because God has come in anger with this outstretched hand, and this outstretched hand is a work that's going to take a while. See, that's a everlasting punishment. It's an everlasting judgment. It's a judgment that's going to last with a strong arm, which must strength. See, even in anger, that's not for good. It's for the disobedience or the disobservance to the law of God. See, not a reward, but a curse. And in fury and in great wrath, because this thing they will not put away. And we're going to see whose shoulders it's been put on, see, because what happens is the contender was sent into amongst the Levites, even the kingship, when they turned away from God, and God gave it over to the king. And we'll find out they've done nothing but get worse and worse and worse. And God has made an example of this. But we'll find out this is what was going on in Jericho when the people got there. 7. And afterward, 6, And I will smite the inhabitants of this city, both man and beast, and they shall die of a great pestilence. And God has smitten the city with a great pestilence. And this pestilence is the words of destruction. These are simply words that destroy both man and beast. Man and beast. These that lay in wait, and the flesh of man. 7. And afterward saith the Lord, I will deliver Zedekiah, king of Judah, and his servants, and the people, and such as are left in the city, from the pestilence, from the sword, and from the famine, into the hand of the Nebuchadrezzar, king of Babylon, and into the hand of their enemies, and into the hand of those that seek their life, and he shall smite them with the edge of the sword, and he shall not spare them, neither have pity nor have compassion. And this was what God was going to do, and this is what God did. It's documented. The Lord delivered judgment into the kings of Babylon's hand. He delivered the king of Judah and his servants and the people and such as left in the city from the pestilence and the sword and the famine. He delivered them from all that, right into the hand of Nebuchadrezzar, king of Babylon, right into the hand of the prophet that protects the crown of confusion. See, that's what he did, and the hand of their enemies into the hand of those that seek their life. And that's exactly what God did. And we're going to find out how long is it going to last. Jeremiah's going to give this up later. We're going to find out about this. And unto this people you shall say, Thus saith the Lord, Behold, I set before you the way of life and the way of death. Sound familiar? Yeah, it comes from Deuteronomy, just like almost all these do. See, we can document almost all this in just one chapter in Deuteronomy, and that'd be the Song of Moses. Nine. He that abideth in this city shall die by the sword, and by the famine, and by the pestilence. But he that goeth out and falleth away to the Chaldeans that besiege you, he shall live, and his life shall be unto him for a prey. What? Yeah, see, this is what Jehoiachin had already done. This is what Coniah had already done. He had went out and fell away to Babylon. He'd fell away to the king of Babylon, to the king of confusion, to Nebuchadrezzar, the prophet that protects the crown. See, he done went away and fell away to him. And Jeremiah was saying, hey, if you will do like he's done, see, if you'll do and go out and fall away to confusion, I'll give you your life for a prey. See, you'll be able to save it. But none of these people are going to save it. None of the priests, none of the king's men are going to be able to save you. Why? Well, they're in the same boat you're in. 10. For I have set my face against this city for evil, and not for good, saith the Lord. It shall be given into the hand of the king of Babylon, and he shall burn it with fire. And that's what he did. Because why? God set his face against the city for evil. For what city? Jerusalem. That's the city we're talking about. That city of peaceful teachings. That city of the deception of men. Oh, they got a sweet cookie, a little song, and a prayer, and everybody goes out, and everything's fine and dandy. You can go about your way and sin and do whatever you want. That's the city we was talking about. 11. And unto the house of the king of Judah, hear you the word of the Lord. Unto who? The king of Judah. This king, the one that God had given. And we're going to find out. Who is it? Verse 12. O house of David, thus saith the Lord. This is what God's got to say. See, because in the beginning there was a qualifier. What was the qualifier? God said, you can have your king if you'll keep the law. And he told David the same thing. If you'll keep the law, I shall bless you and your seed forever. If they'll keep the law. It's always that qualifier, that little if. Everybody forgets about the if. 12. O house of David, thus saith the Lord, execute justice in the morning and deliver the spoiled out of the hand of the oppressor. lest my fury go forth like fire, and burn that none can quench it, because the evil of your doings. And that's what happened. See, that's what happened. See, they didn't turn. We're going to find that out. See, it's documented as we finish up the book of Kings. See, as we finish up the Jeremiah, we'll find this out that no, they didn't turn. See, what's God saying to the house of David? Execute justice and deliver the spoiled from the hand of the oppressor. They knew what was going on. This was no strange thing. They knew. And God's fury has gone forth like a fire. There's judgment now because they chose that which didn't please the Lord. They chose to go the wrong way again. See, this was the punishment of the second time. 13, behold, I am against you, O inhabitant of the valley and rock of the plain, saith the Lord, you that say, who shall come down against us, or who shall enter into our habitations? The Lord's against you. Who? Oh, this one who's exalted himself, this one who's made himself a high place and says, ain't nobody can get to us. We got the highest rock in the valley. Yeah, you got the highest rock in the valley, because that's, O inhabitant of the valley. This low places of the earth, even this fleshful places, is what it stood for. It always will. This rock of the plain, even that little spot raised up on the flat ground. See, that's what that rock means, this exalted place, this place you can get up on and stand. See, that's what you've made. That's what this has become to God. We're going to find this. Jeremiah documents this. 14, and I will punish you according to the fruit of your doings, saith the Lord. I will kindle a fire in her forest, and it shall devour all that is round about her. And now, what's he going to do? Punish you according to the fruit of your doings. You're no different than anybody else. See, we are all judged by the law. The law judges one, the law judges all. It judges everybody's house. If the child can't be held guilty for the sins of his father, neither shall he receive from reward from his father's obedience if he doesn't keep the law as well. See, yeah, that's the way it works. You got to keep the law. You can't take the good from somebody else doing it. See, you'll have to do it yourself. You'll have your life for a prey, just like everybody else. You'll have to take understanding. You'll have to pick up the law. You'll have to be obedient. For God has said from the beginning, keep my law. The law because you wouldn't follow God. So you got the law that should keep you for your own good. And then you forsake it as well. See, this is what's been going on from the beginning of time. This is what's going to continue until you open your eyes, hear the law, hear the word of God in understanding, turn and return. Let's move to chapter 22.